That's great because I'll give him this one and I'll hold on to a couple. Thank you. Michelle just walked in and said he's on his way.
Okay. All right, good.
So, and you have a program. I think John's got a program. I left one for the governor. Where do we want to? The governor here.
Probably the governor and you, or do you want 5-minute warning?
Yeah, the governor. But I would be crossing.
So what you should do is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to sit next to the governor? You should sit on that side then. And John will sit. John?
Should we put the governor on the outside so nobody's walking in front of him? I don't know that that's a protocol anymore.
You're just coming up to the podium. Let them. And Michelle. Hi, Chief. So, I'll sit here about and you'll be on the Good. Did you see how quiet it got? So, he's here. There he is. Yeah, he needs. That's good. It's. Oh. It's a little chilly here. I told him to tell him that. Well, that's good. That's good. So in all my excitement, I forget to put on my mask. Sorry about that, Governor. At this time, we'll begin our ceremony. We'd ask you to rise for the posting of the colors. Thank you to the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 25 Honor Guard for joining us this morning. At this time, I'd like to invite the Reverend Dr. John Fancher from Rocky River Presbyterian Church to the podium for the invocation. Thank you.
We're here to dedicate a building, but not just a building. I believe that this is an occasion for a rededication of a people. Because of the creation of this facility, I believe we should seek to rededicate the people who serve and the people who are served. For isn't it our hope, our intention, our prayer that our police department will continue to serve and protect with diligence, discipline, safety, and with respect for each and every person who lives in or passes through this community? And isn't it our hope, our intention, our prayer, that citizens will appreciate, respect, and collaborate with our police department in their work to watch over our safe, orderly, respectful, and delightful community? Yes, on this day of dedication, we give thanks for the visionary architects who imagined and designed these attractive and functional spaces. And we give thanks for the craftspeople who skillfully fashioned brick and mortar into this community resource. And we pray divine blessing will continue to guard and protect our officers in their service today and always. May it be so.
Thank you, Reverend Fancher, for those words of hope and inspiration, always so thoughtful. At this time, the Rocky River Police Patrol Division will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Patrolman. And thank you what you do for us every day. Once again, I'd love to welcome all of you. My glasses are going to go on and off probably throughout this presentation. Obviously, we want to welcome you, Governor DeWine, to the great city of Rocky River. You've been here many times. I know you enjoy our community, so it's wonderful to have you back. And it's great to see so many of our residents here who just, without hesitation, really support our safety forces, and we so appreciate that. Why don't everyone have a seat? And the reason I need you to do that is I'm going to introduce groups of people, and they're going to rise. So if everyone is seated, that'll be a little easier to see them. So around you, you're surrounded by our police department personnel, and just give them a round of applause if you would. The men and women of the police department that serve this community so diligently and without hesitation. I want to also recognize the fire department personnel that's here, and we won't applaud after all of these, but obviously an important part of the safety forces, and this building is as meaningful to them as it is to the police department. I'd like to begin by also introducing the members of City Council, our Council President and Ward 2 Councilman Jim Moran, our Ward 1 Councilman Tom Hunt, Ward 3 Councilman Michael O'Donnell, Ward 4 Councilman John Shepard, Councilman at Large Dave Furry, Councilman at Large Chris Clem, and Councilwoman at Large Christina Morris, along with the Clerk of Council Sue Pease. Next to them is our law director, Andy Beamer, and our city prosecutor and assistant law director, Michael O'Shea. Also present today are the members of our land use commissions that helped this project through its completion, along with our municipal court clerk and judges, if they would rise. Judge Fitzsimmons, Judge Hagan, and Clerk of Court Comrie. I know she's there. She is in the back. I'd also like to recognize the Superintendent of Schools, Mick Schoaf, along with school board members that are in attendance. I know there are representatives from Congressman Gonzalez's office here today, as well as Congresswoman Captors. We welcome you. Senator Matt Dolan, State Senator Matt Dolan, could not join us today, but did send us a wonderful proclamation from the Ohio Senate honoring this occasion in our community. So we thank him for that. In addition, our county councilwoman, Nan Baker, is in attendance. Our West Shore mayors and West Shore chiefs, and they are our respected and beloved mutual aid partners in the West Shore. I'd also like to introduce to all of you Bowen and Associates, those individuals who worked on this project, Ken and Robin and Alan and Tom and Joe and their entire team. I have to say, Tom, we're going to miss those incredible Amish donuts and your family's maple syrup. So we'll talk about those donuts in a couple of minutes, but we always appreciated that. Also, representatives from our contractors, the general contractor, Vendrick, Frank, if you would stand up, and SiteTech, and all of the other very talented subcontractors that worked on our building and new police station. And then I also want to recognize the leadership and membership of many of our wonderful civic organizations that are here today, the Chamber of Commerce, along with the Citizens Police Academy alumni. I think the Safety Service Director said to me, Mayor, it takes a village. That was the village that made this all possible. So as many of you will remember, the former Rocky River Police Station was built in the 1950s as a part of an overall civic campus. At that time, it included City Hall and the fire station. The police department was expanded in the 1970s to meet the growing needs of the community. But over the course of these many decades, the facility has served the police and the community well. However, due to the overall size, age, and condition of the building, it fell well short of meeting today's policing and safety standards. Given these realities, the police continued to perform well, which we are immensely thankful for, even though there were less than ideal conditions. But the reality is that a long-term solution was needed. In late 2016, the City of Rocky River hired the Cleveland-based architectural firm of Bowen and Associates to perform a needs assessment and feasibility study for the purpose of determining what the city could do to improve its outdated police station. The Bowen team, working hand in hand with us, the Director of Public Safety Service, Mary Kay Costello. Mary Kay, I saw you, so we want to recognize you. And at the time, Chief Kelly Stillman, who is now the chief in Beechwood. Along with his staff, they really set out to study the building and gain a full understanding of the daily needs and operational functions of the police department. Every staff member was given a questionnaire to fill out, providing valuable information about what they do and how they would improve their work environment given the opportunity. The Bowen team also held interviews with all of the key stakeholders. And through all of this information gathering, the Bowen team was able to develop a long-term building strategy for the Rocky River Police Department to move forward with. The process was aided by touring several recently built stations in our surrounding communities, noting how others have addressed the needs of their departments and communities. Tours that included police personnel, city staff, and our city council members. The study also examined what the exterior architecture of the new station might be. The new building had to blend in and honor both the original City Hall as well as our municipal court building that was added to the campus in 1990. The design does way more than that. It combines brick and stone and ribbon windows and a modern touch into a timeless addition on our campus. It is intended to complement and to be a friendly neighbor to City Hall, not overshadow it, and I hope you've all seen that. Improvements also included, and this was my pet project, as council knows, is a new front parking lot and enhanced accessibility so our residents and other visitors can enter City Hall through the welcoming front doors and not the back doors any longer. So that parking lot is open, so for all of you, please come in through the front door. Clearly, this was a very detailed, deliberative, and engaging stakeholder process, and today you will see the results of this thoughtful, comprehensive process. Thank you to everyone who was a part of this process, especially our police personnel and city council members. These efforts were foundational to the success of the overall project. The results are a state-of-the-art police station that will serve the residents of Rocky River for decades to come through enhanced technology, evidence processing, dispatching, police training, and stewardship of vehicles, as well as other law enforcement equipment. Today, as we dedicate our new police station, we recognize a department that is dedicated, as Reverend Fancher said, that is dedicated to community outreach and community engaging and community policing, continually focused on meeting the safety needs of our beautiful neighborhoods, our successful schools, our thriving businesses. As we are often reminded, the success of our schools and public safety are cornerstones to any successful community. Lastly, in addition to the architects with Bowen and Associates and the contractors from Vendrick and SiteTech and all the other skillful trades, I want to extend our thanks to those who are overseeing the construction of the station day to day. Chief Lichman, thank you. Tom Sutton, Joe Veneroso with Bowen, the Director of Public Safety Service, Rich Snyder, our Building Commissioner, Ray Reich, our Facilities Manager, Mike Balla, and the Head of IT of our city, Chris Grau. A special thank you to our Finance Director, Mike Thomas, for navigating the financial considerations of this critical investment. I'd also like to extend deep gratitude to a generous anonymous donor for their contribution to the furniture, fixtures, and technology in the new station. Of course, a big thank you to the service department staff, some of whom are here today, the custodial staff, and a number of volunteers who helped us get the building and the grounds ready for this opening. Most importantly, I want to extend thanks and deep gratitude to our residents for their ongoing support of our safety forces in so many meaningful ways. As with any large project, there can be bumps along the way, but today you will see the amazing results of problem-solving, strategic decision-making, and multidisciplinary teamwork. My hope is that this building will be a source of pride in our community for generations to come. Thank you. I really hope you use that parking lot a lot, okay? I'm going to look out every day to make sure those spaces are filled. At this time, I'd like to introduce Chief George Lichman. He has been a patrol officer or police officer since 1998 and quickly rose through the ranks to sergeant, lieutenant, and executive staff assistant until he was appointed chief of police in November of 2020. He is a certified law enforcement executive and received the Chief Michael C. Kaylee Klee Award for academic performance in Klee and service to his profession and community. His policing efforts include the development and implementation of our Citizens Police Academy. I refer to him as Professor Lichman, which I think he likes that title as much as Chief. He administers the department's presence on social media. He created and implemented the Police Bike Patrol. He develops and runs the Citizen Satisfaction Survey Program. He's part of the OVI Task Force, Internet Crimes Against Children, Cops on Patrol in Schools, our School Resource Officer Program, the Neighborhood Watch Program, along with many, many other programs and initiatives. The Chief also serves as an instructor for the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy, specifically in the areas of surveillance, standardized field sobriety testing, domestic violence, community diversity, and procedural justice. He also serves as a member of the Police Executive Research Forum. The Forum is an independent research organization that focuses on critical issues in policing, identifying best practices on fundamental issues such as reducing police use of force, developing community policing and problem-oriented policing, using technology to deliver police services to the community, and evaluating crime reduction strategies. Additionally, he was awarded the Blue Coat of the Year by the Knights of Columbus and received special recognition from the Rocky River Chamber of Commerce for community policing and engagement. It is with great pleasure and confidence and admiration that I introduce to you the Rocky River Chief of Police, George Lichman.
Thank you, Mayor. Very generous introduction. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. The founder of modern policing is often credited to Sir Robert Peel for his role in the creation of the London Metropolitan Police Service. The famous organization, also known worldwide as Scotland Yard, first patrolled the streets on September 29, 1829. The public had concerns about a police force that are still common today. As a result, the lives of the original Bobbies were very controlled. They worked 7 days a week, were prohibited from voting, and required permission even for off-duty conduct, including marriage and dining publicly with a civilian. Their uniforms were blue instead of the traditional bright red of the military, so they were more recognizable as civilian police. Because of public concern of being spied on, constables were often required to wear their uniform both on and off duty. During his effort to gain support for the police service, Sir Peel created a list of 9 principles that are still very relevant today. All are important, but one that has been a favorite of mine is to maintain at all times a relationship with the public that gives reality to the historic tradition that the police are the public and the public are the police. The police being only members of the public who are paid to give full-time attention to duties which are incumbent on every citizen in the interest of community welfare and existence. 191 years later, police still rely on community partnerships to function effectively. As our communities need police to maintain order and public safety, police need community support to operate efficiently and effectively. Without that trust, the quality of a community suffers. Our new police station was designed to enhance both the effectiveness of police services and the partnerships with our community. The most notable improvement is in technology. Our new building has 3 dedicated computer server rooms, from which over 36 miles of cable run through the building, connecting computers, phones, cameras, heating and cooling, and more. Our new jail meets standards designed to enhance the safety, security, and well-being of inmates, police officers, and the entire community. The new station has several interview rooms for police officers and detectives, one of which is directly off the main lobby. These rooms will allow for private discussions of difficult conversations that often have to occur. From the introduction of new concepts, reviewing core policies and skills, to completing required continued professional training, it is more important than ever to have the ability to train our officers. The new station has a room designated for police training. from roll call every morning to regular in-services and periodic specialized training. Our soon-to-be completed firing range will enhance that by allowing for both handgun and rifle training at nearly 150 feet range. Not only will this help maintain the skills of our officers, it will be a valuable asset for other agencies in our region. The garage that we are gathered in today will allow officers to keep cars warm and dry. No more delayed responses to calls because a patrol officer has to scrape a car in January. It has data points so dash camera video can be quickly and wirelessly uploaded to servers. We have an indoor storage area to keep our police boat, the Argus, clean and dry all winter, and a safe space for detectives to process and gather evidence from recovered cars. The job of a police officer is a difficult one, and the burdens placed on police today are greater than ever before. Over the last few years, increased attention has been paid to the emotional and physical health of public safety forces. Our new station was designed to include officer wellness. It includes an exercise room so officers can get a quick workout before or after work. We have a small dorm so officers finishing a night shift can take a quick nap before a court proceeding hours later, or in the event of a disaster, get a few hours of sleep in between hard 16-hour shifts. Last but not least, the Rocky River Police work hard to engage with our community, evidenced by the many community partners we see here today. From DARE and school resource officers, Coffee with the Cop, our marine and bicycle patrols, and, while I shouldn't pick favorites, the Citizen Police Academy. The new station will allow us to continue and expand our community engagement. A room directly off the lobby will allow for community meetings, Citizen Police Academy classes, press conferences, and more, fully equipped with technology for enhanced presentations and video conferencing. So many people are gathered here on a rainy fall day to share the dedication of our new police station. It is nice to know that the Rocky River supports their police department. I believe we work hard to earn and maintain that support. The new police station will allow us to continue to do that in a way that will maintain, at all times, our relationship with the public that gives reality to the historic tradition that the police are the public and the public are the police, both working in the interests of community welfare and existence. I'd like to add a special thank you. The mayor covered a lot, but the men and women of this police department work hard to serve their community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll be there at 3 in the morning. They'll be there on holidays to serve the community in the way they've come to expect. My successes are because of the hard work of the men and women of this department, and I appreciate them every day. Thank you all for coming to this important occasion.
Thank you, Chief, for all you do every day for our great community. At this time, I'd like to introduce a man that really doesn't need any introduction. He's been with us almost every day, certainly every week, for about the past 18 months. And I have to say, many of those months, we enjoyed those 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock news conferences with you, Governor. But let me give you a little bit of insight into the governor that maybe you haven't heard of before, although he has served our state for so many years. Governor DeWine's story is an Ohio story. He was raised in Yellow Springs, Ohio, and he and Fran, and we're sad that Fran's not with you today. We understand. Please extend, our hello to her, and our thanks to her for her work with literacy, all of her efforts and initiatives around literacy and reading. Most recently, some of you may not realize, Fran recorded a chapter in a book for our middle school, and that day I recorded one, several people in the community recorded a chapter, and the middle schoolers read an entire book in one day, thanks to all these recorded chapters. So it was a great success, and please extend our thanks to the First Lady. So they met in first grade, and they were married while they were students at Miami University, and they've been blessed with 8 children and 26 grandchildren, an amazing achievement. Family is at the core of everything that Governor DeWine does, and that's why he's so why he has devoted his life to fighting for Ohio families. He knows that when families are strong, communities are stronger, and our future is bright. Governor DeWine loves Ohio and cares passionately about our state's future. He fights for an Ohio that will work for everyone. Governor DeWine knows that to build our state into an economic powerhouse, we must have strong schools and a great quality of life and compassion for those who need our help. Governor DeWine's family started a seed company in Yellow Springs, working alongside his parents and his grandparents. He learned early the value of hard work and strong leadership and fiscal responsibility. Growing up, he loaded seed bags onto trucks and boxcars and shoveled wheat out of trucks during harvest, worked in the wheat fields to help ensure the purity of the seed, and basically did whatever it took to get the job done for their customers. We have some similarities in background, so we'll have to talk about that. So getting the job done for their customers. Well, getting the job done has continued throughout his public service to the citizens of Ohio. The values he learned from his family still live within him today. On November 6, 2018, Mike DeWine was elected to serve as the 70th governor of our great state. The governor has had a long and distinguished career in public service, focusing on protecting Ohio children and families. He was previously the 50th Attorney General of the state of Ohio and has previously been elected to serve as Greene County Prosecutor, Ohio State Senator, U.S. Congressman, Ohio Lieutenant Governor, U.S. Senator, and I will say he has been continually surrounded by responsive and committed staff. You have a great staff, Governor, and I know they've been with you for many, many years, and we thank them. Throughout his public service, we have seen and been impacted by his unwavering compassion and commitment to our safety and the safety of our families. He is here today because of his leadership efforts that have focused on strengthening and supporting community policing, the recruitment and retention of qualified officers, ongoing law enforcement training, making sure law enforcement has the tools and resources it needs, creating improvements at the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, streamlining the evidence processing systems, the interoperability of the MARC statewide radio system, the body camera program, and I could go on and on and on. He is also here joining us today to acknowledge and celebrate this amazing community achievement. Please give our governor a warm and enthusiastic Rocky River welcome.
How you doing? Thank you. Mayor, thank you. Sit down. Thank you. Mayor, thank you very much. Mayor and Chief, Pastor John, thank you all very, very much. And Mayor, this has got to be a great day for Rocky River. You can be very proud, you and the council and the citizens of Rocky River. I'm anxious to take a look at this great facility, but I've heard so very much about it. And it was great to listen to the chief detail all the different things that are in this building and all the different things that these officers will be able to do because of the technology. One of the things that we have seen such a change in law enforcement over the years is the use of technology. To solve cases, to keep the peace, it's still the same, in many respects, basic work as it was 100 years ago when Scotland Yards was started. But the real difference today is the technology, and the police departments that are able to have that technology and to keep up, it makes a huge, huge, huge difference. Mayor, I'm honored to be here. The mayor asked me to be here, and I'm deeply honored. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Usually, when we get invited somewhere for a dedication of a great building like this, it's because there's some state money in there. And I think there's sort of a guilt. They feel, well, we got to invite the governor, or we got to invite the state senator, or representative, but to my knowledge, there's no state money in this building at all. And so that what makes it even more special, Mayor, that you invited me to be here. Because I know it wasn't out of any guilt or any obligation or felt that you had to do it. I started, as you heard, I started my career right out of law school as an assistant county prosecuting attorney. I was 25, and I learned so much from the men and women of the sheriff's office and the police departments in my home county of Greene County. I rode with those officers. I was there with them in court when they testified. We worked on cases together, and I really built up such a great respect for who they were, what they did, what kind of dedication they had, and that respect continues to this day. We expect, though, so much today of our police officers. And when you think about all the things that they really have to do, they have to deal with mental health. Tough job. Sometimes it's their own mental health. Many times, it's they walk into, they get a call, and they knock on a door. They don't know if the person behind that door has a mental health problem, does not have a mental health problem, maybe has an alcohol problem, maybe has an addiction problem. They stop a car, they pull it over. It's the same thing. They have to become very good at de-escalating situations. Their ability, I've often thought that the ability of a police officer to listen and to talk and to build up a relationship is equally as important as their understanding of the law or anything, or their ability to shoot a gun or anything else. It is that personal relationship. When I started off, we had a sheriff in our home county. I don't think he ever went to high school. He had come out of Kentucky a number of years before. He became chief of police and worked his way up and ran for sheriff. Had another chief of police, first African-American chief of police in the state. And I watched those two, and they were two really special people. And what made them special was their ability just to deal with people. And we call it today de-escalating a situation. It's just the ability to walk in to a tense situation and take that tension down. So we expect a lot of these men and women, and I just salute them for doing all that they do every single day. It is a tough job. I think that I can say that Rocky River appreciates what you do. The building of this building, what is in this building, I think is a testament to their respect, people's respect for the men and women of Rocky River Police Department. And that really, I think, says a lot about all of you. And Chief, it says a lot about you as well. So I just, again, I'm delighted to really be here. We live in a state that is a really local government state. And you kind of like that, Mayor, don't you? Right. You like that. And what it means is that we actually have over 900 police departments in the state of Ohio, plus 88 county sheriff's departments. And for some people, this may be a surprise. We have no state police. We have the State Highway Patrol. They have limited jurisdiction. But we really don't have a state police. And so the buck stops here. It stops with the men and women of the Rocky River Police Department and their counterparts around the state. And so that's why it is important to make their life better. It's important to give them the tools that they need, because we expect them to do that job. And many times there's no one else that they can call on for help or assistance. So again, this building is a testament to the understanding in this community among the council, the mayor, and others that technology that we have today is very, very important. What's the state's role? The state's role is to back the police. The state's role is, even though we don't have a state police, even though they don't work for the state, they work for the city of Rocky River, what we really can do is try to find those niches and those things where we can provide some service or some help that makes their job better. And particularly with smaller departments, many times it's assistance that they really don't have or they can't do. I'll give you two examples that we really have kicked in since I became governor. And I thank the state legislature for funding it at our request, and they went along and said, yeah, that's a great idea. One is called ONIC. It is the Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Agency. And one of the things that has really changed about law enforcement is today we have the cell phones. I can tell you in the Pike County murder case that I was directly involved in when I was the Attorney General, a lot of technology, a lot of hard old-fashioned police work, but there was also pulling down some data. And there's so many cases today that's investigated by Rocky River or any other police department where there are computers, where there's cell phones, and the ability to pull down that data that is in there many times solves a case or produces enough evidence so that charges can be brought and convictions ultimately obtained. Many departments don't have the ability to do that, and even if they do have the ability to do that, many times it just takes so long to do it they get backed up. And so we set up this group, and we've expanded it now to a number of locations in Ohio, and police departments can access that. Again, that's the role, I think, of the state. Another is the drug problem we have. We have a huge drug problem across the state of Ohio. We have a fentanyl problem. 80% of our deaths are caused by people overdosing on fentanyl. And this is something that these men and women of this department have to deal with every single day. One of the things that we have done is to expand the multi-jurisdiction task forces, where a number of different agencies can get together, put one person in, and go deal on a more holistic, deal more holistically with that drug problem. Mexican drug cartels bring it in, it comes up through the southern border, comes into Ohio, ends up here and in other cities throughout the state. So those are some of the things that we do. But ultimately, it does come down to the local police department, the men and women of the Rocky River Police Department. So my wish is that this building serves you well. Because if it does, and I'm sure it will, then you can also serve the people of the state of Ohio and the people of Rocky River. And Chief, I totally agree with you that the police are the public are the police. And that relationship is something to strive for, and it's something that matters a great deal. A police department can only do what the public really lets it do. And the cooperation from the public is absolutely vitally important, whether it's investigating a case or whatever it is, but that cooperation for witnesses, that cooperation from the public is just vitally important. So again, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to be here. My best wishes to all the men and women in blue. We respect you. We're proud of you. We appreciate what you do each and every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. We so appreciate your remarks and also appreciate your leadership in so many areas of our state. And we know over the last year and a half or so, it has not been easy, and we appreciate all you've done for us. We'd like to present to you a couple of tokens of remembrance of this day. The first is a pin of the city of Rocky River. It'll match your suit perfectly. And Chief, do you want to present? All right. And the Chief is presenting the Governor with a patch of the Police Department. Thanks again, Governor. It's so wonderful to have you here. It is such an honor to have you here. I know many people, when I said, gee, the governor is coming to help us dedicate the new police station, they're like, the governor is coming? So it means a lot that you would take time out of, I know, a very busy day, a lot of things going on in Columbus and around the state, and you were able to come and spend time with us. Thank you so very, very much. After we retire the colors, we want you to join us if you can, although the rain might prohibit some of this, but we're going to go out front and cut the ribbon. I think Angela is here with the big scissors. Angela Barth, who is the executive director of our Chamber of Commerce, brought the big scissors, and then we will unveil the plaque for the building as well. After that, please come back and enjoy refreshments provided by the Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. And Tom, I said I'd talk about those donuts again. Instead of the big donuts that were as big as our heads, these are smaller donuts. They might call them mini donuts, but they're regular sized donuts, and they are wonderful. So come back and enjoy that with some cider and some visiting. There's also self-guided tours. We have a map that's annotated primarily of the first floor. That's where sort of the interesting things lie. The upper floor is a lot of offices. There are police personnel strategically placed to answer questions that you may have about the building or its function. And throughout the month of October, there will be tours that you can take with our officers around the entire building, so be watching for that. Once again, we thank you for your attendance today. We greatly appreciate the support that you extend to our deeply valued law enforcement professionals. We would now ask the Honor Guard to retire the colors. Thank you. Thank you again. We hope you enjoy your day, and please stay for refreshments and conversation. Thank you.
Governor, good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you.